You throw over $1,000 a month into local wishing wells.
Of course, you idiot, 'cause I'm wishing for more money.
This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenbarger and Bart Steidler.
All right, welcome back to Keeping Your Money Show. Jamie Westenbarger, joined as always by Bart Steidler. We're just tuning in. We are talking about the 7 mistakes to avoid if you receive a financial windfall. I want to remind you, you can give us a call anytime. 888-98-MONEY is the number. That's 888-986-6639. We don't take calls during the show, but someone does answer the phone 24 hours a day. If you need a second opinion, maybe you need a first opinion. You know, maybe you're managing your money through your 401k, you're getting ready to retire, or maybe you're already retired and December threw you for a loop and you're trying to figure out if you're doing the right thing, taking income out of your portfolio, and you don't have a plan for that. We'd love to talk to you. Doesn't cost anything for you to come in and get our review of what you're currently doing, and we would love to see if we can add value or assist you with that in any way. And the great thing is, you know, here with all the people that are affiliated with the Keeping Your Money Show, we also on top of that have the team of people to help with all facets of things. We have the CPA, we have the insurance agency, we have the health insurance and Medicare insurance expert, we have connections and people to talk to at Social Security, and we also have the estate planning attorney. And that was something that USA Today addressed earlier this week in regards to the idea of, are you ready? And what's sad is how often people really aren't ready. Even very wealthy people, even famous people, are regularly passing away without even having a will. And by no means, Bart, are either one of us qualified to give legal advice. So please do not take any part of this as legal advice, but simply as observations of what you should be minimally doing to get ready. In my opinion, the first step is you contact a lawyer. You know, whether it's Ross Kylan that we work with, or, you know, one of his other attorneys, or whether it's somebody else that specializes in estate planning. But, you know, get a hold of someone who knows what they're doing. This online stuff, that's for the birds. Because if you screw it up, it's going to be really, really bad for your family.
Right. And also, when you're contacting attorneys and interviewing them to try to figure out which is the right one for you, you know, be a little weary of ones that are offering like a very expensive package, okay? For the vast majority of the people out there listening to us, getting a will, an estate plan, or if you need a trust, which you may or may not, depending on your situation, it should not be breaking the bank, okay? It is not something that you should be spending, you know, in the $9,000 or $10,000 range for, unless your situation is extremely complicated and there's a lot of businesses involved and you're a very wealthy person. Then maybe that's the case.
Or multiple marriages with children from those, I mean, then maybe it gets more complex. But for the average person, and one of the things I think we see with that is there's this idea of, hey, pay 10 grand. And then any changes you ever have to make to this, we'll just take care of it for you. You really shouldn't have to be making a lot of changes to this type of document. I mean, this is the type of thing that maybe once every 5 to 10 years you're reviewing it, and maybe you're removing a name or adding a name or something like that. But I don't know if over your entire lifetime you should never even come close to spending that kind of money on estate planning. It just doesn't cost that.
That would be like 4 or 5 estate plans.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
And, one of the reasons, and Jamie and I have spent a lot of time trying to build up a team here, because we realize that getting this done is hard to find time to do.
It is, and it's uncomfortable.
But if you can have one place that you can go to, and it's not like your financial advisor is doing your will, but your financial advisor has an attorney in the building. Your financial advisor has a CPA in the building. Your financial advisor has a insurance provider nearby. and can connect you with all these things, it makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot less time consuming, because part of the problem, if you haven't gotten this done, is finding the person who you can have get this done for you, and also figuring out if that's a person you can trust and be comfortable working with.
Well, the nice thing is if you're working in a team environment too, the communication there is a lot more seamless, and you're not paying $250 an hour for your attorney downtown to call your financial advisor in the suburbs, and then your CPA, and then So yeah, definitely. But the number one thing that I saw in this article that it doesn't surprise me, but it concerned me was among parents of children under 18, only 36% of them have created a will. Now, I understand that the likelihood of you passing away in your 40s is not real high, right?
Right.
But it happens. And not only does it happen, but if it were to happen to both of you in a car accident or something of that nature, the difficult position you put not only your children, but your other family members in can be horrendous. And it's not even about the money. It's about who's going to care for your kids. How is your house going to be sold? Everything has to go through probate. I mean, it's a nightmare scenario. If you have not even bothered, I mean, like coming up with who your guardians for your kids are and putting that legally in writing, that has to be one of the most important things as a parent you do. And if you haven't done that, like, holy cow, do it right now. Like, I would be terrified to just be driving around without some kind of plan of what happens with my kids.
That should be done almost as soon as the children are born. I mean,
Absolutely.
During that time that you're pregnant and you're expecting that child, you need to be putting that type of a plan in place. The other thing I think a lot of people don't realize is that getting this estate plan together, there may be things in that estate plan that have to be done while you're still alive.
Right.
In other words, there's powers that you give off to other people in case you're not able to make your own decisions. Somebody has to, if you're incapacitated, somebody has to make your financial decisions.
Right.
If you can't make your own medical decisions, somebody has to make them for you. Now, that could be a temporary situation because of an illness or an accident that you're going to come out of. But while you're in that situation, if nobody has the power to make decisions for you or the legal ability to, how's that going to work out? The hospitals are going to require that somebody be responsible for making those decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes, even financially too, do you and your spouse, are you listed on every account together? Is one spouse, maybe their 401k is the majority of the investments. Well, does the other spouse have power of attorney? Because if they don't, and something happens, and not even just death, it can be complete incapacitation. It could be a coma. It could be ICU. It could be a stroke or a heart attack. If the spouse that's not the owner of something doesn't have power of attorney, it becomes really difficult for that person to weigh in and make decisions on that account. Well, I'm sure that's not what you want, but if you can't speak for yourself anymore, that's what the court assumes. The court assumes you didn't want that person to have that, and it just becomes more difficult. So this doesn't have to be the worst thing you've ever done. It doesn't have to cost you, a year worth of house payments. It doesn't have to be as ominous as people make it. You sit down with an attorney. Like if you sat down with somebody like Ross is going to go through everything that's going on with you, what you're going to need. He'll determine whether you need a trust or not. He'll talk to you about what the difference is and the pluses and minuses, and then he'll tell you how much it's going to cost. And then if you decide to move forward with it, he walks you through the process. He gets the documentation done, and you move on with your life. And you move on with your life knowing that if you're not going to be here or if you're too ill to speak for yourself, those things are going to be taken care of the way you want them taken care of. I don't know how you go to bed at night and not have that.
You're probably talking 2 1-hour meetings and maybe a 1-hour preparation in order to get this done.
Yep.
Really? And you're not doing it? Tell me why.
Yep, exactly. Well, if you want to talk to Ross or any of our professionals, financial, CPA, insurance, whatever, you can, of course, always reach us. 888-98-MONEY is the number, 888-986-6639. Somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day, and we would love to hear from you. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about the top financial concern in retirement. It has to do with health care, what you need to be doing about that right here on the Keep Your Money Show.